What is everyone? Welcome to the Nerd On Update, the weekly show where we talk about the stuff in the news that excites us, but we also answer questions from you, the people. Before we get too far into it, how are we doing? How are we doing out there tonight on this fine Monday night, the last Monday in February?
The last Monday in February.
Yeah, the last loving Monday. I don't know. It's a month of love, Black History. What are we talking about tonight, Tom?
I mean, also,
What is this Monday bringing to you?
Also, the conclusion to the first storm blizzard watch warning Los Angeles has had in 30 years.
Yeah.
First one in my life I've ever seen a blizzard warning. Pretty
It's a crazy end to season 1 of Juniper.
Yeah, pretty. Tom, I can only hear you from one side of the headphones. You know what? I don't know. I don't know what to say. I'm
hearing you from both sides.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't.
Well, we finally got the 300,000 channel points, though. That's pretty exciting.
That is pretty exciting. Maybe this might help that. Yeah, there you go.
Emotional damage.
Emotional damage. But anyways, I was like, I gotta figure this out. I was like, but so that being said, just there's a lot at the end of the February. At the time of this recording or this show, I have not watched one movie from 2023. And I think that just also says something about the year and how I'm feeling about films and movies.
I don't think I have either.
The only one that I wanted to watch is probably Cocaine Bear,
which I heard wasn't good, but like, did you expect it to be?
I mean, I heard it was amazing.
Oh,
I heard it was like a rambunctious, thriller.
I think people maybe overestimated what it could be. That I heard from, they were like, I don't know, it was just kind of stupid. And I was like, yeah, that's like, I think that's
a Meg.
I don't think the film's trying to say anything.
Yeah.
The Meg, it's the Meg. You would know, Tom.
Yeah, the movie I've never watched. Double Corey voice. Oh, Corey's now echoing? What do you mean?
Oh, man.
Oh. Now go ahead. That's fine.
That's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not meant to be like some movie with a statement or a hot take on, the social climate in the U.S. It's about a bear who got a hold of a ton of cocaine. It's based on a true story. That's about it.
It's not going to be
it's not going to be the next Shawshank Redemption or Schindler's List.
Or it's not like Jaws, it's not going to be Jurassic Park.
No.
I think also, but I think Ray Liotta's last movie. R.I.P. baby.
Is Ray Liotta in it?
Ray Liotta's in that boy.
Oh man.
So,
then we got to see it.
I see one question we can answer before we get to the question portion from 1992 Johnny Horror. Have y'all seen The Ant-Man? I'm in one of those places in my life, y'all.
Tom doesn't want to watch superhero films anymore.
Well, no. If I say anything, I think I'm just going to be called a hater.
Did you see it yet?
No.
Okay, well, we'll just leave it at that. We don't form opinions before we see films.
I'll form opinions about that.
Right, Tom?
About that whole fucking studio. Can't wait for them to hire me one day.
You don't form opinions before we see films.
I'm not going to say anything about the movie. It's just more like it's about the studio. It's about the line of production. It's about the I think there was. For a trilogy movie and for the third movie to come out, I just did not see anyone really excited. If anything, it just felt a lot of influencery. Like, you're kind of supposed to be excited about this stuff because this is your job, because you're a comic book MCU influencer, YouTuber, TikToker, whatever the fuck you want to call it. But I didn't see a lot of people being like, oh, I'm so super excited about it, which was really weird. As the release premiere day started coming up, and I was just like, I don't know. And I was just like, I always have the bar really low now for any Marvel movie, because I'm like, I just can't put that against them anymore. I can't put it to be like, oh, you have to be as good as a Winter Soldier or like an Endgame or like a, you know, whatever, because it's just unfair. That's unfair to most movies because they need to be their own thing.
Yeah.
But like it was just weird to see that there was almost like no hype about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
It just came and went.
there was a lot of hype for the Batman. You know, bad.
I mean,
hype
here's the
and
thing.
good
I'm
hype.
a big fan of Jonathan Majors,
Sure.
and I want him to succeed in this role.
Sure.
That's all I have to say about the movies. That was like my hot take.
I had
When
heard.
people ask me, "Are you excited for Ant-Man?" I was like, Paul Rudd has a special place in my heart. No shame on that as a person, but I just want to see Jonathan Majors succeed.
I
in this.
heard. What's his name?
I'd rather see him in Heart of They Fall too.
I heard what's his name? Who's Gomez in the theatrical film version of Addams Family?
Raul Julia.
I heard he was like that of M. Bison in the Street Fighter movie, and how Jonathan Majors is.
Jonathan Majors in this, they were like, he didn't have to go this hard.
Yeah, like
but he did.
I had heard that he really elevated the film.
Yeah, well, he was. I don't. If you saw anyone on the chat here saw Loki, he has an appearance in that as this character. I don't want to spoil when or why, but I will say that he's fantastic in it. And for me, I think it is a hard-earned win to steal the show from Tom Hiddleston, who's been one of the most charismatic characters in the Marvel franchise so far, and to do it effortlessly, to make you go, actually, I want to see more of him, even though this is Loki's show, is impressive to me.
Yeah.
So I don't doubt at all, and that's not shade against Tom Hiddleston because he was fantastic. That was probably one of my favorite Marvel shows that I've seen. I haven't kept up with a lot of them, but yeah, I haven't seen it. Is what we're trying to say.
Yes.
We did. Y'all should go watch a trailer called Past Lives though, because I've watched it like 4 times, and my heart is like full and broken all at the same time. And Tom, we got to go see that together.
So that's what you're excited about. That's how your end of the February went. You're excited about Past Lives.
About Past Lives. I wish I could go back a couple weeks, and when people say, "What movie are you excited for?" I would still say Oppenheimer, but I would also add Past Lives onto there. But it wasn't. The trailer hadn't debuted yet.
This past weekend, man, we shot some stuff for Nerd On that hopefully y'all will see soon. Josh should be working on that. That being said, Josh and Steve's is not going to be here tonight, as you can tell. No. Yeah, no, the February was weird. I would say February was kind of weird. And I know we're still on the topic before we get into all the news and stuff like that, and it feels like we're dragging ass, but it's just like, it is interesting to think like, oh, let's actually take a look in perspective of like, oh, how did February feel? You know, your birthday, Juniper's birthday, you know, we just watched One Cut of the Dead again.
We got to show some people One Cut of the Dead.
You know what's so funny? Mikey had so much to talk about this morning.
He did? About the movie?
Yeah, because he was
I
super
texted
quiet,
him last night. He was just tired.
Oh,
I texted him. I was like, hey, bud, just checking in. You're good, right? He's like, dude, I just hit a wall partway through the movie. He's like, but I absolutely loved it. We'll talk soon.
Yeah, he was fried. He was fried. And we were trying not to
But he
do
liked
spoilers.
it.
Oh, he liked it a lot, yeah.
Oh, good.
He wants to watch it with other people. So I was like, good. Yeah, watch it with new people. Again, if you haven't, check out the episode, One Cut of the Dead. We already did an episode on it on the podcast. And it's great. It's a great movie to watch with friends. We're going to see in the chat here. Also, Loki has a lot of reference to people watching it now and to have an idea for the future Marvel movies. I hear that, you know, this isn't news, you know, because we're still chatting it and we have actual news topics. I hear that they're going to start slowing down production on Marvel movies, which
Good.
I think will only be their benefit, which was kind of what I was talking about of like,
They almost reached a Star Wars level for me where it was like,
Star Wars is coming back to that level. Mandalorian comes out in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, but like, do you remember when we were getting like, I mean, here's the thing with Marvel, at least, and this isn't to say, I think that I've reached that point. Obviously, I haven't seen like anything from Black Widow on. I haven't seen the movies, guys. I haven't seen them. That it reached Star Wars level quite a while for me. But there was a time, and like, unfortunately, Solo was like the straw for them for Disney, but they were like, oh, you know, we've done too much of a special thing and we're going to pull back on Star Wars movies. And I was like, that's not that's not what we want. We just want you to be like more selective. Like I thought Solo was more interesting. We don't need more Skywalker stories. I don't want more Skywalker stories. We got it. We're done. We had it. I didn't even want more Skywalker stories after the original trilogy. And like the prequels and the original trilogy, I was like, this is great. Little bow. Everybody's happy. Whatever. There is so much to explore within that universe. And even Rogue One feels like an extension of Skywalker story to me because it's just so tight. Yeah, because it ends with
it's hope.
Yeah.
What is
so
that?
they finally get like, I don't know. At least with Solo, like I get that it's tied to the Skywalker story in a way, but it had nothing to do with it. It was like the characters I don't know.
Johnny Hort, you are talking to the wrong crew. Who wants a Knights of the Old Republic series or movie?
Nobody. Dude,
Knights of the Old Republic.
I wanted Ryan Johnson to do it when he was talking about it, and Knives Out just proved to me more that I want him to write those. But here it is. Here we are.
Oh, so I always said like if I had keys to the castle, if I were to do a Star Wars movie, I'd want to do it only about like stormtroopers or clone troopers. I found a story that I would want to do that involves Jedi. And I'll tell you about. I think I weren't. Like a while ago, I like texted you, and you were in the midst of like I think traveling and shooting a bunch of stuff for your family.
Yes.
Yes. And then I was just like, "Hey, how you doing? You're really busy." I was like, "Oh, I want to tell him about this story I want to do."
Tom, even when I'm busy, you should tell me about stories.
And it was something that's like I think lost now because it's now part of the Legends.
Is it the extended
it's all this,
universe?
You haven't seen it happen, but it kind of does tie in a little bit of some stuff that I think a lot of Star Wars fans are not cool with, but then they do touch on it in Solo. And so I was just like,
the story,
no,
Tom?
no, my best ideas. You can't have that for free.
You'll text me after the show tonight.
Oh yeah, and I don't know. I feel like we should do like Patreon only podcasts, and it's just like these are our money ideas. Please don't steal them. The series.
Yeah.
But
Please don't steal these. That's what the series is called?
Yeah.
I wrote a treatment for a Nightcrawler movie, Tom. I'll send it to you. It's dumb. It's really dumb, but I did it just as an exercise. So before we get in the news, no, 100% honestly, I want a Star Wars movie based on the horror book Death Troopers. Yeah.
Horror.
Yeah.
That sounds cool.
Death Troopers. I haven't read the book, but I'm going to now. Yeah, my news that the chat can get before we go into the actual show itself is that Juniper took her first steps today. Like full on. She did a few last night, Tom saw, but she is full on. That happened, that video I posted, and she has not stopped. Like her confidence is like through the roof. I pushed her down to slow her down a little bit. But
to remind her what pain feels like.
Yeah, remind her that there is some danger in this. But yeah, it's a big deal. Big happening haps.
Also, I haven't watched the show, but Ethan, who mentioned in the chat, I just want more Andor. I haven't watched it, but I feel like that's the shit I want to get into.
Yeah. Well, it was like what you talked about with Bill Burr's character in The Mandalorian. You're like, they did this right. They did this so right. Well, hey, we've talked enough. We've chatted your ears off.
Yeah.
Let's get into the show here. Tom, you want to bring us in, or you want me to start us off here?
I'll start. So we are going to do some news. Today, the Pokemon Company. It's so weird. I don't 100% know. Again, we're not saying we're the number one authorities. We're not saying we told you here first. We're saying what we think, a little bit of our opinion, our experiences, in a more humanistic, conversational way. The Pokemon Company. What is the Pokemon Company? Is it Game Freak? Is it Creatures? Is it Nintendo? I don't know.
What is it?
What is the Pokemon Company? So they released, dropped, published, aired, I don't give, whatever you want to call it. They did a thing. There's a video on YouTube. It is their 2023 Direct, the Pokemon Company announcement. And so it's all the things that they have in store from Pokemon. As you can see, if you might be wondering, what is Pokemon? Why do people care about Pokemon? I want y'all to just research the number one most profitable IP in all of history. And it is not Marvel. It is not Star Wars. It is Pokemon. Yeah. And you know what? They didn't ruin the gaming industry by doing it. Oh! Well, anyway, so
Hey.
that being said, they made some announcements. In particular, their tournaments that they're going to do, and this year, 2023, is going to be held in Japan. Of course, they probably didn't hold it in their home country for shutdown reasons, and other countries hosted and all that stuff. And they were saying it was a big, wide event last year, and they showed footage of all the people that participated with all the masks. So it was really cool. They kept it kind of safe, and not being like, hey, things didn't change for weird reasons for no reason. That being said, another thing that they are announcing was Pokemon Sleep, a thing that we were promised and told about like years ago.
That's right. I totally forgot about that.
And it's a game that uses your Pokemon.
Feels like it was like 10 years ago.
Yeah, it logs into your Pokemon Go account. You have a little physical device where it can actually monitor how you sleep, and by using it and linking it to your Niantic account, you can run across a Snorlax with a sleepy cap, which is like, okay, but can you sell me a physical sleepy cap? Because that'd be kind of cool. I would like to wear like a sleepy cap that's a Snorlax that like monitors my sleep patterns. That being said, it's supposed to like monitor like the positions you sleep, for how long you sleep, what kind of sleeper are you, X, Y, and Z, and it's going to teach you a little bit of stuff. But the cool thing, they're like the game where it makes you excited to wake up. And I was like, that's an interesting marketing thing and all that stuff. The next thing about Pokemon, they were announcing a new Pokemon Resort anime series on Netflix.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so it's all the claymation style as they're doing all the promo stuff for Pokemon Arceus, Legends Arceus. And the other things that they were announcing was there is going to be a new update for Pokemon Violet and Scarlet. Where two new Paradox Pokemon.
What's a Paradox Pokemon, Tom?
Fucking, it's the dumbest thing in the world.
Like a jumbo shrimp kind of thing?
No, because that would actually be like kind of funny and like a little bit like, oh, that's silly. Like back in the day, Charmander or Lizardon, right? Like these are like amalgamations. Squirtle and Blastoise. The name, just the naming conventions. The fucking name on the new Pokemon is called Iron Leaves. I'm like, bro,
Walking Wake.
did you all try at all? Like at
Iron
all?
Leaves and Walking Wake.
And there's other ones that just like, big face. And it's like, why? Why?
Are they based off? They look like they're based off.
They
like,
are based off of regular Pokemon, except they're all like messed up. So like some of them are so more robotic.
Not Entei. What it was? Which one's the?
That's Verizon.
Ice one.
Oh, the ice one. That's actually based off the cover Pokemon for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. But I think it's like a water type instead of a fire or dragon type, whatever, or steel type.
Yeah, but it's based off that one of the three cats.
Suicune.
That's what I was trying to remember.
Yeah, it's a Suicune and then the main motorcycle Pokemon that you're riding on.
Right, Suicune is what I was trying to remember.
And then you got the green Verizon wireless Pokemon. His name is Virizion. But like,
no, I got that when you said Verizon.
okay. So in Violet, all your dudes are like robots, and then if you go get Scarlet, all your dudes are like old prehistoric time, like big tusk. I'm cool with the designs. I don't care how stupid and silly. If you start going to some Digimon where some people are gonna have guns and jean shorts and boobies, I think just be a little bit more clever about the names. That's all I really care about. Is just like, there has to be some kind of like, I feel like some art form in that. But yeah. Anyways, so you get two new of those guys. And then now there's going to be Mask of Tears and another thing afterwards. It's all within Pokemon Violet and Scarlet, which is fine. So it's more support for this. Hopefully some more patches come in. And baby one sentence review of Pokemon Violet and Scarlet. I stopped streaming it because it was like, to me, the Cyberpunk 2077 for like the Switch, where it was just like, it was not optimized to be played on at all. It like, you feel so sluggish and slow to move around the world. And then I went back to Pokemon Legends Arceus. I'm like, oh, this is nice. It's like a Legends Zelda.
Arceus is Tom, you didn't tell me you started playing Arceus.
I played like a little bit of it. I still haven't finished it or anything.
Dude,
like that,
the story gets really good.
All right. I mean, once they let you go after like waterboarding you with like 3
Yeah.
hours of exposition that you didn't need.
Yeah.
You know,
You get it. You get it now.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, all I gotta say is like, it's not that we didn't need the exposition, but it's just like, yo, you take hella time, bro. You do like, oh, let's pan down from the sky, and then we meet our characters. Let's go.
It's a game, not a movie.
And I'm like, dude,
Says
just,
the guy who doesn't read any of the text for quests and games.
just get me through it, man. Just put the little thing. Must go get this. Okay, cool. And then, hey, you did this. Okay, cool. Like I don't know. There's some kind of there's ways to do it well. Like in Cyberpunk, you would ride around like, cool, go get this flower from Misty because this person died. You get on a motorcycle and you're on a phone call with Misty and she's like, yeah, I just feel sad. You're like, okay. It's like, this doesn't stop me from playing the game. I'm still playing the game. I'm just forced to listen to this thing, which is the story and the character. And I'm like, all right, cool. And then when you do the thing, they like say, oh, thanks. It means a lot. It's like, cool, you did the mission. And then like the mission accomplishment would be like, paid your respects. And it's like, oh, I get it. And then you go on to the next thing. This is just like, do you know what a star is? It's like, I want all of you to die. That's insane. But I mean, it's also.
I want you to review all the games I play for me.
But it's. I understand. It's a kids game. It's a kids game. It's a kids game.
Yeah.
$90 billion
That's like
company.
that saying about Star Wars. Remember, it's a movie about space wizards made for kids.
Yeah. I see the professor saying that I'm basically describing Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah.
And I'm not excited about that. But I'm just saying, if you tell it the way Cyberpunk told it, Cyberpunk's story is actually the strongest point of that entire game. And I'm like, I can't. No notes on the Cyberpunk story at all. Gameplay,
Right.
mechanics, sure. Shooting, sure. But story, and locomotion, getting to place, not feeling like when you get your motorcycle Dragon Man in Pokemon, you're like, oh, hell yeah, this is going to be like the bike. This is going to be great. First thing you do when you're like, oh, why do I get the bike? And then you finally get the bike, you're like, do I get a faster version? This sucks. And then you're like,
This is barely faster
you're
than
like
what I was
gliding
doing.
through town. Like, because think of how long it took from you to get from one point of Saffron City, like one edge, to the next edge. Less than a minute.
Yeah.
Even if you took maybe the longest route, you know how long it takes you to get from one city to the other city? It's like, it takes like 3 to 10 minutes. You're like, oh my God. Anyways, that's all my news is Pokemon. Pokemon had a new announcement come out.
The Pokemon boy. My news, Warner Brothers has made another announcement, which is always lately very
Great
scary
decisions.
sentence to say.
Great decisions.
They're making more Lord of the Rings movies.
Are they making
Now-
more or are they remaking some?
So it hasn't been said yet. So there was a lot of, at first it was reported that they are remaking, and then there was clarity that like, oh, wrong report. They are just announcing that they are making more Lord of the Rings films. So at first I was like very sad because I was like, this is not what we need. The first 3 films. Remake The Hobbit, maybe. That's fine. But look, I think there are a lot of stories within the Lord of the Rings. I'm also a fan of the Rings of Power. Okay? There are a lot of stories you can tell using the Silmarillion or the extended lore within the Lord of the Rings universe that I would love to see. What are you shaking your head at? Are they
No,
remaking
because
it?
that'd be original.
Oh, yeah, no, that'd be original.
We want the
I'm
baked-in
hoping they don't
audience.
remake Lord of the Rings because it's not necessary. There's it'd be like, I don't know.
So as of right
That'd
now,
be
they
like
haven't
Warner
said
Brothers
that,
being like, and we're also remaking Goodfellas. Like you don't. There's some movies that you're just like, just put it to bed. Let it be. There's a reason that we've asked for these movies to be re-released in 4K and all these kind of things year after year after year. They're held in the same esteem as like Star Wars. Like you don't remake Star Wars, the original Star Wars. Do you know what I mean? You can add to it. You can you can explore the lore around it, but like there's just certain pieces of art you don't touch, and the original trilogy is that for a lot of people. It changed how movies are made.
Maybe you know what I should do? I should just do. We should. You and I. We should just shoot a parody remake of Citizen Kane.
Oh,
Just
Yeah.
be like, just modernize it the fuck up, and I think like people will get the hint. Like, there's something that's really interesting. Like the logical thing, right? A lot of people will have the same argument. It's like, stop remaking shit that we like, right? Stop trying to fucking cash in on the same fucking pot of gold that you already have. And most people will probably agree. How about you use the technology, the budget, and the time of something that
Give me
had
an
promise,
open world Lord of the Rings game. Good lord.
or you remake things that failed. Like you have the time and budget to try those things now. Like stop trying to hit the same fucking oil spot, but to try to make new ones. And like you have the technology. That's what Disney live action remakes literally could do. Is like they can like kind of rewrite where some of the blind spots were there or like the problematic things. But not a lot of people put their fucking money where their mouth is half the time. And it's unfortunate. So as of right now, they have not said what they're remaking. They're just going to make more. That's the.
I couldn't find a note on what they are.
What happened to the
making.
Riders of Rohirrim?
That's still coming, apparently. That's still coming. 2024 now, I believe. The Riders of Rohirrim, the anime, Western anime about the Horsemen of Rohan, which is, there you go. Like, make that kind of shit. That's what I want to see. That's what people who like Star Wars want to see. We want to explore these things that we haven't got to see on screen yet. We don't need you the problem is it's bound to fail. If you remake the original trilogy, it's going to fail. They're too iconic. The roles are too iconic. The people who are casting them are too iconic and still around. It hasn't been long enough. I don't think for something that successful, I don't believe 20 years is long enough to be like, I think we could touch this again. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
I'm
It
just
just for me, it's like in the leagues of like, if I had heard an announcement, they're like, we're remaking Lawrence of Arabia, I'd be like, you fucking hacks. Like, don't do this. So I don't know. I keep seeing it more and more every day though, that they're remaking
well, the crazy thing is like it's the
movies
people,
that
like,
I'm like, why?
we were kind of young when the movies came out, right? We were like,
I was 11. Yeah.
we are the age range literally to be like have grown up to become execs and then like, oh, I want to remake my childhood. Like, so I don't know who the fuck is over there right now be like, oh, I want to remake my childhood. Like, who the fuck are you? Like, but to me, I would say this, like, yeah, just make like a Guise of Gondor.
There's just so much shit that's not explored. Like, why don't you make a movie talking about the Maiar and that kind of shit coming to Middle Earth?
I mean,
Or you can make it like we've discussed, make a show of your own accord. What happens after the trilogy?
fucking dude, you know what they could do? You know what they could do? They could do during the events of what was the war called? What was this whole trilogy called? What was like the saga in that world?
The Third Age.
During the Third Age,
Yeah.
one story was never told. Coming to
Lord of the
HBO
Ring.
Max,
Yeah.
Bombadil.
There it is. Yeah. I said Tom Bombadil.
I'm telling you, man, that's all you needed. Like the story you never knew. The story you
I know.
never knew, and then you
There's
just tell
just
that
so
story.
many stories that haven't been made at all. It just is. It's like wearing on me that people are in charge are just like, let's remake Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. Let's remake Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Let's remake. You're like, God, fucking make the Phantom Tollbooth. You cowards. Make a live action or a Pixar Phantom Tollbooth, you fucking hacks. Like,
But
let's do something interesting.
I feel like I'm
Let's
gonna.
take stories
I feel
that,
like
that
I-
have been. You can take stories that are already written. I don't care. Just don't take the ones that have been made into classic films already.
I feel like I'm going to offend a lot of people, and I apologize to say it, but I feel like this is like some influencery Tide Pod eating bullshit of like. I texted Sakura, it's like. Robert Downey Jr. as Gandalf the Grey
Yeah.
with Tom Holland as Frodo
And Zendaya as Samwise Gamgee.
Gamgee. No, but it's Samwise Gamgee. That being said, without spoilers, we because it hasn't happened yet. Are you excited for tomorrow and what we might learn?
Yeah.
I'll be like,
I am.
oh man, because I'll tell you right now, I'm gonna fucking, if someone says, what do you have to pitch? I'll say like, Lord of the Rings, Bombadil show. Done.
You should do it.
Dunzo.
Absolutely do
What's
it.
gonna happen? Have you seen The Dilemma?
The Dilemma.
It's with Vince Vaughn and Kevin James.
No.
So Vince Vaughn, Kevin James are partners, and they work at a car dealership, and they try to make the first like manly electric car, whatever the fuck. And they have this big presentation they have to do, and then Vince Vaughn finds out that Kevin James' wife is cheating on him. Anyway, all this shit. But pretty much between the duo between those two, Vince Vaughn's like the I talk guy, and then Kevin James is the I actually make the thing happen.
Sure.
If you do the writing for the Bombadil, I'll just be the talk guy. I was like, hey, this is what we're going to do. It's going to be so cool. We're going to have all these great shots. It's going to be great.
It's just called Bombadil.
It's Bombadil. I'm telling you, man. People will. How many people will come for that versus seeing Lord of the Rings remade
God,
with
who
fucking?
would when we cast Pedro Pascal as Tom Bombadil?
Is he a dad?
No, but he could be Bombadilf.
That's true. That's true. And then Oscar Isaac's in there.
Yeah.
Money. I'm telling you, they will send the checks.
Hashtag Tom Bombadilf. Start it now. Trend it now. It's
Tom
going.
Bombadil. That's it. That's right here.
It's
Send
happening.
the check.
So that's my news. That's all I got. Is both of us just being like, oh, I'm exhausted by all this. Both of our newses.
I mean,
we're
Pokemon,
getting old.
I'm never going to get mad at Pokemon, but I am going to be like, how did you ruin Pokemon? Like, it's not, I don't think it's ruined. Like, the next game will probably be good and better and all that stuff, but I'm just like, this not, no. And I love Pokemon. I fucking will buy every Pokemon game if I could buy one. So I asked the Discord if you guys are not familiar, because we're moving on to our second part of the show, which is our questions, where we answer questions that our wonderful, lovely, sexy, nerdy audience has sent us. And if you want to be put in front of the line, you can join our Patreon, which is for as low as $1. Nerdon.tv/Patreon. You get put in the front of the line. And I'm going to answer some of those questions because some patrons did give us some questions. And the best where to send it is typically the Discord, nerdon.tv/Discord. It's free, but those patrons have a special little server channel area
Nerd
for
on
that.
Nudge, baby.
Yeah. But if you don't have a computer or a phone on you at all times because you're in not the digital age, you could send an email. Go to your public library, send an email, questions.tv or nerdon.tv/questions. And you can send it through there. And you can send questions like the questions we have here. What I meant to say was I did ask the Discord some questions, and then some of them did mention that, like I said, hey, what do you want us to talk about? People said Pokemon, which I have done. And some people were saying Destiny, Lightfall. It's a game I don't play.
It's a new big update. The servers are going down tomorrow, I believe, and then they're coming back up again the next day. Or maybe they already did go down. But it's like some huge big change. We both don't play. If you listen to our original episodes, you'll learn that I returned my Destiny for some ice cream.
It's just wild. And I do want to sidebar for 10 seconds. I apologize. Because Corey, I know one of the most important games in your entire life is the Halo franchise.
Sonic 2. Oh, yeah.
Halo. The original Sonic, not Sonic Adventure Battle.
No.
And since, the split, it's
between Bunghole and
Team 343, right? That's what's called 343.
Yeah, that's what it is
then,
now.
And then Bungo. You don't play a Bungo game, and I feel you don't play the 343 too much right now. So where are you feeling with the franchise?
Here's the thing. I was just very hurt by Infinite. There's a lot of money grab issues, a lot of microtransactions, and the fact that it took over a year for the co-op storyline to come along really put a sour taste in my mouth. My favorite thing to do with a Halo game when it comes out is to co-op campaign it on Legendary, and then the PvP comes afterwards for me. And so to have a year of PvP, by the time the co-op came out, I was just like done already. I'd already been playing the game for over a year.
Have you watched the Halo Legends movie? The animated one with 6 different animation things?
Yes, and I even watched what was the live action one called? Not the show. There was a movie that came along with, I think, Halo 4 or 3. Halo Forward Unto Dawn.
That's the show with the kid, right?
So it was a movie.
Was it a movie? I thought it was a show that got cut up.
No.
There was another one that was a show that was on like Netflix for a
Halo
minute.
4 Forward Unto Dawn.
Uh-huh.
Oh, Nightfall. You're talking about Halo Nightfall, I think.
Fall
it was
of
called?
Reach?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Forward Unto Dawn was a I guess it's one season. They cut it into a movie. It's got the girl from Chronicles of Narnia, I believe,
Mm-hmm.
in it.
Oh, Anna
yeah.
Popplewell. Yeah, I remember this. They're all Spartans, right?
They're Marines, I think.
Oh, they're all Marines. Okay.
Yeah.
That was the thing that I watched. The reason why I brought this up, because of the Destiny 2 conversation, but also because I watched the Halo Legends movie for the first time. It's free on YouTube right now.
Oh, I should watch
And
it.
it was interesting. I thought the first animation was just complete, not good. It was about the Arbiter, but then they did it like as if it was feudal Japan.
Yeah.
But the animation art style, I was just not a fan about. The storytelling was kind of interesting. It was weird seeing an elite with boobies.
It's been a while.
There's an elite with
Yeah.
boobies, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
so sad. But then there's one called, there's one I forget, like To Be Human. Oh, it's so good. I was like,
Which one was that?
That one's hella good. It's about like so the Spartan 2s are like what Master Chief is, right? And they're like I'm a tank, and then the
Yeah.
Halo Reach guys are all Spartan 3s.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're a little bit more like agile, have new technology, but they're not as strong and tanky.
They're a
as,
little weaker. Yeah.
I think the To Be Human is about a Spartan 2 guy who's like, my entire team died. And then so everyone's just like, this guy sucks. He doesn't care about people. He's more robot than anything. And then the entire story is him trying to like redeem himself because he's like, no one's going to die when I'm here. He's like, no more.
Like that.
And it's like really good. And you're like, oh my God, this guy's gonna be badass. And everyone's like, that's not your orders. Like you're ordered to evacuate and get all this stuff out. He's like, no, my orders to protect this team. It's like, oh hell yeah. Oh hell yeah.
I gotta watch that again.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Pretty good. Okay, so
Pretty good.
so we're gonna do questions now. First question is from Dusk Ninja Kenji.
Shout out.
If you could describe the lore of Magic the Gathering in one paragraph, how would you do it? I have to go first. I have played Magic the least. I know the least amount of Magic in
Okay.
this
Sure.
two-person conversation. So, the lore of Magic the Gathering. I would say in some place called Dominaria, Fibblethip was hanging out, and then his sparks opened up, and then he traveled to places like Mirrodin and Kamigawa and Innistrad, and then he saw like a lot of things, and then in his one eyeball he was like, oh, let me tell you the story of all these wizards and Mishra and Urza who hate each other, but they're like Sam and Dean and from Supernatural. And then like Nicol Bolas was like, I am the oldest of the old dragons, but actually I'm not. And Ugin was like, don't do that, homie. And he's like, I'm gonna take care of everything, and I'm gonna start the War of Sparks. And then the Allspark, he stole it from Cybertron, and then he was like, everyone's gonna join me. And then other planeswalkers had their sparks spark up, and then they're like, we have to fight. And then Liliana was like, I'm gonna fight. And then there's some people like Jace who's got like a magical thing. He doesn't actually look as cool as he looks. Liliana's like, I was once a person, but now I bring people back to life. And then Yawgmoth created a robot, and then he was like, I create this planet
long-ass
called
paragraph.
Mirrodin, and then my Memnarch man accidentally makes the Phyrexians, and then now the Praetors are winning.
One day I saw a dozen squirrels work together to kill a demon in Eldrazi. That's pretty good, Tom. It did say describe the lore, not tell the lore. So describe the lore of Magic the Gathering would be planeswalkers, are the most powerful beings in the universe.
They're like the Avengers.
And like X-Men, their sparks are ignited in times of distress or great need. And with that, we get stories that span across universes and different planets and different existences. With, you know, I'm gonna take your supernatural thing, because there is a baddie of the week. There's a bad guy of the week in Magic the Gathering. You know, each set kind of has their. We got the Phyrexians. Oh, we got Nicol Bolas. Oh, we got Liliana. Well, we got, you know, it's all fixed with time travel thanks to Teferi.
So it's like the plot of Doctor Strange, where he's like, let me be a dick to Wong and use time travel, and then when someone dies, like, nah, man, time
Can't
travel,
do it.
it's not good, man.
Yeah,
But let me use time travel to
essentially-
fucking
it's
troll
essentially
a
what-
very powerful guy.
Yeah. You know, you could pick your favorite villains, but yeah, Tom's favorite villain is Urza, I think. And
I think he is the biggest villain. There's actually
Yawgmoth is the biggest villain.
yeah, he's pretty evil.
But yeah, it's interesting because the lore is messy, and it's gone from really fantastic storytelling, and it's dipped to some of the worst storytelling I've ever heard, and then back up again to some of the best. And it comes in waves, you know. You have your arcs with like a lot of the Ravnica stuff is really fascinating to me, but then you have stuff like they have stuff you won't go back to either. Like there was this whole thing with Lorwyn, Shadowmoor, and Eventide, but there was no humans in the set. And Wizards of the Coast is scared that people can't relate, so they said they probably won't go back there because there's no humans in the set. I'm like, what are you doing? We're not in this to just see other humans.
But now,
yeah.
Walking Dead's in there, Street
That's
Fighter's
Universes
in there.
Beyond, though.
But
Those
now they
don't-
have
those don't-
universes
Within,
within.
which is the reprint of those cards. But I have one actually.
I have
somewhere.
the Mind Flayer from.
Maybe you know which one this is. I haven't looked it up yet.
Oh, is it Zangief?
No, maybe
The one from
It's-
Phyrexia? The Jeskai guy? No, I have no idea what the fuck that is.
She has it's a prowess, and she's one. Maybe it's Ken.
Could be.
I think it's Ken. I think it's a Ken reprint. But yeah, it's messy. There's some cool characters. There's some bad characters, but it's fun. There's some truly hard. There's some of the most truly heartbreaking stories I've read in Magic, also. So yeah,
I mean, I kind of totally want to make like a secret lair deck that's just like a commander's like Daryl.
I believe there is a card that was gifted to Wizards of the Coast employees that is Secret Lair Tribal. But it's not, obviously it's like not for sale.
Yeah.
But let me see here. Hold on.
I want to proxy those employee cards.
Oh, I forget what their title is called.
Super powerful cards. Super
But they're like
powerful.
called
Let me see. MTG employee cards.
They're called like
Heroes of the
Universes-
Realm.
Heroes of the Realm. There it is.
Yeah, stupid. Where's the dragon? That fucking. I want that dragon. Look at this.
Yeah, I'm
look at
gonna
this
find it
bitch.
here. There is one that just is like every time you play a Secret Layer card. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my god.
Nira.
You should
Hellkite
proxy that one.
Duelist. Whenever you play a
that the
secret,
one?
oh, that's crazy. Nira Hellkite Duelist, 5-color dragon, flash, flying, trample, haste. Whenever it ETBs, the next time you would
pretty
lose
sweet.
the game this turn, you instead draw 3 cards and your life total becomes 5.
That's nice. That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna find it here. But keep going.
No,
next
question. Next question. Thank you, Dustin and Kenji. That's how I would describe it. Is I would just tell the story. Giant Horror 1992. Question.
Sorry.
What was your favorite close match in a player versus player game?
Closest in a player versus player game? Read that again for me.
What was your favorite close match in a player versus player game? Make sure I think Johnny Horror's in the chat, so they can elaborate in case I'm not saying it correctly.
No, like a PvP game, or I mean any game. Oh yeah, any game. There you go. Closest call in any game. I mean, there's been a lot of close calls in Magic games that I've played over the years, where it comes down to like, can you stop this? Because I'm down to 1 health. But if I can pull this off, I win the game. Like those are some of the best feeling ones. I'll give a shout out to my buddy Nate, who I grew up playing Magic with. My mom would come and yell at us because we were up to like 3 a.m, like yelling because we were in such heated fucking games. But it would come down to like 1 to 2 health each, and we're like, I fucking play this. Oh, I counter it. I counter that. Oh shit, I play this in response. It was like, fuck. Like that's the best feeling to me is when games are close. I don't like dominating games, and I don't like to be on the other end of dominating games either. I just like it when there's like a challenge to it, which is why I like Magic, and I especially like Commander, because usually everyone at the table is kind of in it to make sure. Like I think everyone at the table would usually agree that if everyone gets to pop off a little bit, it was a great game. I probably have some Halo stuff saved on my Xbox that was like clutch saves with like a Hail Mary grenade or something like that, but nothing specific coming to mind beyond like those 1 health Magic games that I had with Nate growing up.
If I could do a single player game, it's probably I can remember is from Elden Ring, when I discovered the Magic Mungus build. And I was fighting against Commander Nail, I think his name is. He has these 2 soul ghastly summons that like they just wreck shop. If he doesn't wreck shop, they wreck shop. And so he was far away. I sent out a decoy and they killed the decoy real quick, and I was like, I gotta charge this blast and kill him now. And I shoot him, and it's like the blast is stopping him, and it's just chopping out his life, but his 2 guys are coming at me from the side. I'm like, if they hit me twice, I die. And one of them hit me, and I jumped out of the way, and it just in time killed him. So I was like, oh, I live. And then they died. I'm like, oh, thank God. So I remember that. In a player v player, I think I remember there's a time Corey and I were casually playing a 1v1 Commander game, which is a very different game than a Brawl 4-player game. But I'm pretty sure I remember he did something with a bunch of tokens. And then I cruel edict him.
Yeah.
And then all his tokens just disappeared.
Yeah.
And
I'll never let that happen again.
And then I cracked him back, and then he died.
And then the next week I came back with things like a Chroma's Will and
well, no, the next
Chroma's
time
Vengeance.
we haven't played a 1v1. Oh, we played the Urza Mishra.
Urza ones,
but,
yeah.
The next time we played, he was like, "Oh, let me play fucking everyone wheels, no one plays the game against 2 other precons, not even constructed." And then like one of my, I got a new vampire deck. No,
and Tom, what did I do with that deck, Tom?
Destroyed it.
I destroyed it. I was like, fuck this. This is not fun. I found the card, by the way. It's called Keeper of the Secret Lair. It's a legendary Merfolk 2/1 with flash. It says you may cast Secret Lair spells as though they had flash. Secret Lair spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. You can make that, Tom. I would allow that.
Merfolk. Next question?
Yeah.
Next question from Ethan Who. Favorite birthday memory?
Whoa. Good question. Probably spending the day in the hospital waiting for a Juniper to come around. But that without, that from my childhood, I would have to say favorite birthday memory. Actually, like my 16th birthday was really cool. All my theater friends came over, and my mom themed it as a sweet 16. So I had like, pink cake and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know, it was just nice. It was like, at the time I was dating this girl. Oh no, we had just broken up, I think. but she like came and we got to hang out for one of the first times since we broke up, and we were cool. We're still friends to this day, but it was just, I just remember that I had all my high school theater friends there. It was just fun. It was just a cool day. It was just a really nice birthday, turning 16.
You know what was actually a cool birthday? It was actually my 22nd birthday. I think I was newly single, and I was on my fuck it grind. And I was at the peak of my power in college, where I was now the 5th year student. So I was older than most guys, but
right.
also like I had made friends with all the guys who were older than me and all the guys who had connections to all the bars and all the clubs. So on that birthday, I was like, I'm gonna hit up like 4 of my dude friends, and we all want to go get ham crazy, and then I'm going to just only invite like the most attractive girls I know and put them on all the guest lists of all the clubs I'm hitting to, and make sure we had all lounges and bottle services. And it was cool. It felt like it was like that my level, like, all right, you know, like this is kind of without just like being a name and prestige, like as close as you're going to get to like feeling like you're kind of like in this higher echelon of social status.
Sure,
like,
yeah.
Because I like in most clubs and lounges and whatever the fucks, you got to pay a cover charge. You got to wait in line. Like, there's a lot of waiting in order to do things, and all you do is for like the social status of it. But I got to a point where I got so cool with enough people that I was like, oh, I could just put my name in, and then I could just walk straight through, and I could just walk past everyone, and there's my name reserved for certain places. I had more access than other things, and then I could do that with all the guests and friends I wanted to bring. So it was like that was my ballerish moments.
I like that.
Thank you.
Good
Thank you. We could do maybe 2 questions.
Yeah.
From the chat. I like one from Professor.
Yeah.
Should the game industry and developers be held more accountable for release delays? Starfall, Skull and Bones, etc.
We take a position on this show that if they need more time, to take more time. Because I think we've each been burned pretty hard by some unfinished games. It's tough to. I think there needs to be a certain. The thing with Starfield is they've been pretty open, which I like, and communicative. I think there's a difference between a company that just says we're delaying the game, and a company that says, hey, A, B, and C. This is why. I just got a message from a company that I follow called Larian Studios. They're making Baldur's Gate 3. And they just released a statement saying we are aware, you know, we're going to make this announcement that the game's coming for PlayStation and PC, but we want you to know we are working on an Xbox version. Here's the issues we're running into, mainly with co-op stuff and, you know, online connectivity. It is coming. We're going to keep working through it, but we wanted you guys to know for like, it was pretty cool. It was like a cool, it instantly made me go, cool, take your time. I appreciate the transparency. And I think that's what makes the big difference for me for accountability is the transparency. I don't know how you feel, but
I feel mainly in the same way of like, if you need more time, take more time, but also don't start fielding like pre-release and collector edition orders. I think that's really fucking scummy, and you could go lick my asshole if you do. Like, give me your fucking money, but also we're gonna take longer time to get this game out to you. It's like, how about you tell me when you can do it, and then I'll start putting my pre-release order or all that shit, because I feel like that's the part where it starts getting a little crazy. And I mainly mean like things like, well, like Secret Lair and Wizards of the Coast, right? Where it's like,
no, they're like heads I win.
Yeah,
tails you
here's
lose
this
kind of
fucking
thing.
thing. It's not gonna come for like 8 months. Like, what the fuck is this? I understand there could be demand and some shit, but like at a certain point, like companies should, not saying you're not human, but very capable humans should also be making decisions. And if you're
Yeah.
at the top, you should be making human decisions, which means that you're thinking about people who are using their hard-earned money and they could be used it somewhere else. And if you do not reward those things, then go fuck yourself.
But also don't put that pressure on your fucking developers. my man.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Like, make human decisions. Stop making
Yeah.
like these weird robotic decisions and being like, "Oh, we're concrete, set in stone." It's like, how about like they're I feel like Cyberpunk has had nothing but like one of the most like crazy redemption stories, because like it was crazy to see that they actually are going to release the DLCs that they're going to have for Cyberpunk 2077 after everything how it
Everything.
launched, but
Yeah.
also that the anime did so much good well-being for them in that weird way. But like I would say in that sense of like, I feel like, again, you are consumers, and like it's weird for us because we also like make shows and we like want to make, you know, make short films and make feature films, and we like try to make videos and things like that, and we make our own things, and so like we understand what it's like to make a thing and not purely be a consumer. But like, you realize you are the consumer, you do have the money, you do have the time, you do have the ability to be like, I can choose where this money goes, I can use it to go somewhere else, I can do healthier addictions or options. You don't owe your money to anybody. Fuck loyalty. I like that easily gets squandered because the shifting tides and the shaking hands of people up top. Like, Bungie is not the same Bungie as it was before. And that could be said about every company ever. Warner Brothers is not the same Warner Brothers that made The Matrix and Lord of the Rings and The Dark Knight. So I just feel like it's up to us to kind of make sure they are accountable in that sense of like, you don't get my money unless I see a good product. And at the end of the day, like, they have to, that's what it is. It's a product. It's like, I give you money, you give me product. And if you don't give me good product at some point, then I have to stop giving you money. And I can't get excited and willy-nilly all the time. It's like, be tight with your money, because they're going to hurt for it. And then if you reward them, be like, cool, I'm going to buy this. I'll even buy one for my friend. Then they'll see that shit. But like,
Yeah, you could buy me some secret layers, Tom. I'll let you. That'd be great.
sure. But you know, so that's where I come from, where it's like, how do we do that? And it comes down to like holding them more accountable in the sense of like, well, stop giving their money right away in the first go. Stop going to the movies opening weekends. Like, start actually seeing if you like it and then buy the physicals afterwards. So it's kind of like that thing where it's like, go half about like the big boys who can make the biggest problems, and then go double down on the small guys like Cherry Studios who do Hollow Knight. Last question we'll do.
Yeah.
This is going to be from Mamba. Let's do this first one. With the rise of old trading cards being remade, what old TCG card do you want to be remade into cards for 2023? Please state the name of said card, the type of card it is, and its new effect. So, eradicating an old card?
Or does it mean like a new card, like an old card game? Let me see. Trading cards, old trading cards being made. Got it. What old trading card game card do you want to be remade? Yeah, into cards. I understand. That's a good question. I would like old cards to be made. I mean, most of my knowledge is within Magic the Gathering. You have Yu-Gi-Oh on your side as well.
I literally do have.
Yu-Gi-Oh on my side,
I would say if they were going to remake,
but also Magic.
remake the reserved list.
I don't know what that means. What is a reserve list? I know I got some reserve cards.
Do you have some reserve cards?
In some of the boosters,
Reserve list cards?
they give you some cards from the reserve list, don't they?
No. It's
Oh.
called, so there's a thing called the reserve list and there's a thing called the list.
Oh,
The
so I think I
list
have
is
some cards-
reprints.
Gotcha,
And
so
they
I-
make a
okay.
list for every set that comes out. So
okay.
the set is, the list is refreshed. Then there's the reserve list, which is
Yeah.
cards like Black Lotus.
Because I got this
And-
one of these Argivian find.
That's just
guys.
on the list, got the little
Okay.
thing in the corner.
Gotcha.
The reserve list is things like Black Lotus. The dual lands are on the reserve list. The Moxes are on the reserve list. Mox Emerald, Mox Diamond, Mox Ruby, Mox Sapphire, Mox Emerald, Mox Onyx. Anyway, the Power 9, all that kind of stuff. It's a list they've just said we won't reprint. And I think it's dumb, and I think they should reprint it. And yeah, I think they should reprint Black Lotus. I think they should reprint Ancestral Recall. They should reprint Time Twister. Do it all. Screw the reserve list. It's for whales.
Yu-Gi-Oh doesn't have that problem. A lot of
Yeah.
like the most powerful cards in Yu-Gi-Oh are like easily available. You just can't use them. You literally just can't use them. It's like you can't use Pot of Greed because it's too powerful. It's like Pot of Greed
Right.
was the original Jeweled Lotus, and so it's just like
But it's cheap.
it's cheap. You can find it anywhere. And when it first came out, it was super cheap. But then they realized like this is very powerful, and they're like, "Fuck,
Banned.
can't use this card anymore." So
Yeah.
we don't have things
They're
like that.
banned. Like the thing is, Black Lotus isn't legal in
Yeah.
any format, but it might be in Vintage. But like Commander, it's not legal. But I think it's something they should reprint it.
Sure, yeah. I mean, and there's people like me who just like want to collect a card, right? But I think in Yu-Gi-Oh, if I were to say if there's old cards that want to be reprinted, they've already done a good job with that. Like there's new Blue Eye cycles, there's new Red Eye cycles constantly to just add support to those decks, like Dark Magicians. But that being said, if there's only thing I would wish they could reprint is probably. I mean, the thing is, like, you want it reprinted because you want the prestige, you want the collector, Pharaoh version of like the Exodia pieces, which makes them super duper rare. But I think to me, it'd be cool if there was a way for people to actually like attain. I was gonna say the ghost rares are really cool. I don't know. It's hard for me to see. It's like either make it easier to find, which would lower the value and rarity, or like make the rarities not so expensive, because like there's some like terrible misprints that are like fucking like, it's like if you saw a card of Elish Norn and instead it was like Urbrask in his oil slick form on this.
Oh, just showing
on
off
this.
your Elish Norn. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so it's like if you saw this, but then you saw an oil slick Urbrask in this, and it would be like the fuller Urbrask, but it's in
Yeah.
the window, and it's like this is so wrong. And there's like a bunch of one card like that in Yu-Gi-Oh, and I'm like, I want that card so bad because
Yeah.
it's just a really bad print.
Yeah,
So
that'd be pretty sweet.
yeah, I mean that's what I would want with Yu-Gi-Oh, if anything, or you just remake the old structure decks available that are super cheap, so that people can just start playing like commander decks.
There you go.
That's what I'd say. All right. We went a little bit over time, but I hope we had all some fun. Let's
We
go
did.
and raid somebody.
2-man shows aren't too bad.
No, we got to talk about a lot of things. Is Brad streaming right now? Bad reprint. Probably playing some. Nope. No. Who should we raid, y'all? Who should we raid? Who do y'all want? Amaranth? You guys like Amaranth, right?
It's spanking time.
Thank you. It was spanking time. Thank you, Mamba, for everyone check out that short film we did last year.
Hey.
The Thief of Joy. Check it out. If you like any of the cinematography and the shot selection, you could look at the guy to your left. That's where Corey is. I was like, right? He's on the left side. He's on the
Hey,
left side.
we did those shots together, Tom.
Yeah, I said here's some references, and you're like, oh, what if we do these shots? And I'm like, all right,
It was fun. It was
yeah.
so fun. Let's do another one. Let's do
Octo
another
is
one. Tom.
live. Okay, so Octo is live. We'll send y'all that way. Check out our YouTube channel. If you guys are bored or just want some good comedy in your life, just go to every video, go and like it, leave a comment, do all the good things on the YouTube channel. Also,
That'd be nice.
listen to our podcast, leave us all the great reviews, join the Nerd on Discord, and enjoy your
We have some
week.
magic stuff coming your way pretty soon.
Got some
Tom's already
magic-
been loading it up there, but there's more coming.
Yeah, check out the shorts we got. It's so funny. It's all good things, all the memes. You take care of yourselves, stay hydrated, take care of your loved ones. Crazy storms out there for the West Coast folk.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think that's it. We're sending you off to Octo Pimp. The raid word will be Tom Holland, Lord of the Rings.
All right.
You,
Tom Holland, Lord of the Rings. I hurt my soul. All right, let's do it.
you know the drill. As always,
Nerd on.